Good evening. This is the June 2nd Get Out the Vote meeting for Democrats in Portugal. And I'm John Carroll and have been asked by the executive committee to serve as coordinator for Get Out the Vote in Portugal. So welcome. I'm happy to be in this role. Want to spend a couple of minutes just talking about getting out the vote and why we do it. Why is it important? What's this all about? Want to also then say a few words about the current situation in Democrats abroad in Portugal, and some of the activities that we've already had and some that we have planned, and get thoughts and your thoughts on next steps. I want to take a few minutes and really talk about our strategy over the next 5 months, because this is June 2nd, and our goal is to get as many ballots in the ballot box as we possibly can on November 3rd. So we basically got 5 months to get there. And if you back up from when absentee ballots need to be in order to, or need to be registered to vote to send in an absentee ballot, it's less than 5 months. So we got to work cut out for us over the next several months, and want to talk about our schedule, our strategy for that. And then just a few words about how you can get involved in supporting this effort, because it's a really important effort. There's lots of ways for people to join in and participate. There's no particular effort that's more important than any other. There's lots of ways that you can join in. So we'll talk about that. And then there's a whole bunch of resources that I just want to make you aware of, make available to you, because there's so much work has been done by Democrats abroad already. I mean, it's incredible. And, Christy and Andres and the whole executive team are really great conduits for that information, and it is available. So people ask questions like, how do I do this? How do I do that? There's an answer there. And if the answer isn't in the internet or on the internet somewhere, there's a person at Democrats abroad who is a really awesome resource to answer that question. So, that's it. And I think it's about take about 10 minutes or so to go through this, but I just wanted to quickly summarize the agenda. So getting out the vote. I think everybody on the planet knows what it is they do, right? You ask somebody, well, what do you do? They can tell you, this is what I do. Almost everybody knows how they do what they do, right? They can tell you like, well, okay, so you're an artist. Tell me about your art. Well, I'm a sculptor, right? So they can tell you how they do it. I work in metal. But not so many people can tell you why they do what they do. And that's what I want to talk about right now on this, with this slide, is why we are focused on getting out the vote. Look, what we got to do is we got to get, as I said earlier, get ballots in ballot boxes. And everything that we do here in Democrats abroad is in support of that. Frankly, getting out the vote is our prime directive. That's, I think, in the first sentence of our vision mission statement from Democrats abroad. And that's what we're really all about. And we do that by actively engaging, members. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the numbers of members that we have, but also non-members, people that are brand new to our organization, or brand new to the living abroad and haven't thought about, preparing to vote. So that's what we do, is get ballots in ballot boxes. How do we do it? Well, the principal tool that we use is votefromabroad.org. There's no better resource for not only informing, educating people about how to vote from abroad than votefromabroad.org. And there is absolutely no better resource for people to use to register to vote and get that registration in and get the confirmation, from their local board that they are registered to vote. So, just a disclaimer or a public notice about vote from abroad, but VFA, it is a public service. It's nonpartisan. We're not pushing people to vote this way or that way. There's no party affiliation required to use it. It really is open to everybody who is a US citizen who is not residing in the US right now and wants to vote. So we don't need to be afraid about, oh, this person's has this perspective or that. We can just refer anybody who's interested in voting to VFA, to votefromabroad.org. And that covers the what and the why. What is get the ballots in the boxes, how, using VFA, but why do we do this? Why are we on this call? Why are we thinking about this stuff? Why are we focused on it? I'll tell you why. It's because we support democracy. This is democracy at work right now. This is what democracy looks like. And this is what we do to support our democracy. Because, as you know, or I hope you know, there are a whole bunch of people well organized on the other side that want to defeat and undo our democracy. And we got to stop them. And the only way we can stop them is at the ballot box. So getting out the vote, getting ballots in the box is what we're all about. And I just can't stress that enough, that our purpose, our why is very pure. We support democracy, and that's why we do what we do. Look, Democrats Abroad in Portugal has, as some of you may know, has reconstituted itself over the last year or so, and gotten back in form to comply with all the rules and regulations of Democrats Abroad Global, and that's thanks to our executive committee. So thank you, executive committee, for making all that happen. There's a lot of admin that had to go on to make that happen. We're glad you guys did it. But the point is that we have almost, we had at the end of last year, we had 859 members of Democrats Abroad. Today, or I guess at the end of last month, we had roughly 970 members. So in those, 5 months, we grew by 111 members, which is 13% growth, which is just crazy, killer good, right? I mean, organizations don't grow like that unless some good stuff is going on. Now, the caveat on all this is that a lot of this growth of the 111 members has come from votefromabroad.org. And I can't stress that enough, that votefromabroad.org serves our purpose and our clear purpose to get ballots in ballot boxes. And why we do it is in support of democracy, but it also leads to organizing people in Portugal who support our democratic values. And there's lots of ways that we as a group can further support the effort. And I've listed down here some of the groups, and I've got in parens coordinators and co-coordinators. All of these bullets and all these activities sort of fall underneath getting out the vote. They're ways to support, to get those ballots in the boxes, right? And support democracy, right? And point people to vote from abroad.org. But I'm working on membership growth and engagement. I'm supporting all of the other coordinators and co-coordinators in their efforts to get out the vote. Voter assistance and registration. Kristen Everett has kindly volunteered to step up to lead that effort. And she has had experience in that in past cycles, and is going to be a terrific resource for us in the coming months. Phone banking, Roberta Abel has volunteered to serve as a coordinator for phone banking. And I know she's already started some campaigns. I know she's done some things. And so we're very very happy that she's on board as coordinator. With regard to events, I mentioned before we started to the group assembled that we'd had some events successful already, a meetup in Lisbon, one in Cascais. I think we had a beach cleanup in Porto, and we've had a virtual wine tasting and where people got virtually tipsy, and we've got other events planned. Coming up, we've got an event in June 7th at the cafe in Lisbon. And on July 3rd, we're going to have our Independence Day picnic in Lisbon. And I'm sure that there are other people planning other things. And Christy's going to fill us in on some of that later after I'm done with my talk. But the point is that we have a lot of people already involved and engaged in supporting events. We don't have a coordinator or co-coordinators per se. I'm looking for somebody who would raise their hand to work with me and the rest of the team, all these great people, Mary Campbell, Karen Beverly, Erico Talley, Terry Recht, Frank, Miss Roberta Abel, who are actively involved. And I know there are others names that I don't have here, haven't recognized, who did the Cascais work and did work in Porto. But point is that we've got a lot of people, a lot of energy around that. And so I'd love to enlist some coordinators and co-coordinators. And then finally, we've got a couple of people who are focused, intently and continuously on social media, especially on Facebook. And that's Terry Blakely and Lisa Dixon Gray. And they are in constant motion on social media and do a great job there. But point of mentioning these groups is these are examples of ways that you can get involved and support the team, support the effort. You don't have to, it's not like anybody's alone or has to do everything themselves. There's, look at all those names on the page right there. And we got 5 months to go. So I encourage you to think about joining in and supporting our fight to save our democracy. I do want to talk about, I've mentioned the next 5 months a couple of times, and I just want to reiterate what that means to me and what our plan is, what our timeline is. Like I've said several times now, focus is on November 3rd to get ballots in boxes. This month in June, I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to talk to as many people as I can to enlist volunteers to support those various activities that I've just mentioned, and others that Christy will add to when we get there. And one of the nice things, one of the fantastic things about Democrats Abroad is there's just terrific training, online training that you can do for an hour, 90 minutes to get up to speed on the activity that you're interested in. So that's all, that's the main focus for getting out the vote in June, is to get our team larger than it is today. July and August, then that's where the team start reaching out to our whole membership, all those 970 plus people that are members right now, and others who are not, through events and other types of outreach, and get them to request their ballot and get them registered to vote. It's just as simple as that. With the hope that by September, everybody is, or the bulk of people are registered to vote, so we can focus September and October on just making sure that everything is cool and they are going to be able to get their ballot in. They know what the next steps are, and if there are people who didn't register in time to vote in the primaries, they get registered before the deadline to vote November 3rd. So that's our basic sort of 3-phase plan to get out the vote before November. So how can you support us and support saving democracy? How do you get involved? And we've talked about this a lot, and there's no one way to do this. But what we would like to know is the one way or the two ways that are that appeal to you, or things that you like to do. I mean, this should be, I mean, it's effort, but it shouldn't be onerous. It shouldn't be a drag. It should be sort of, you should get a little energy out of it. You should, because for the most part, we're talking to other Democrats, and it's a friendly crowd, theoretically. And we are in a position to provide guidance and perspective on the process. And if they want to talk politics, we can do that too. But we really need to know what you're interested in doing. And so talk to the executive committee, and we are going to put together a little survey. We're going to send that out to all 970 plus of you. And we hope we get responses, and that will allow us then to build more effective teams, more productive teams. Some things to just think about: voter assistance and registration. We can do those in person, set up tables in libraries, and instruct people, let people know that, hey, come on down and get registered. We can do that Zoom calls. We can answer questions. There's lots of ways that we can assist voters. It's an ongoing thing. And we also get tremendous support from Democrats abroad in that. Phone banking is another thing that we don't have to really do too much except for show up and pick up the phone. After a little training on how to use the system and the scripts, it's really easy to do. And again, like I said, you're calling friendly people. You're calling people who say, oh, I'm so glad you're doing this. Thank you. You get a lot of that. You also get a lot of no answers because people don't pick up, but look, that one person that does pick up and thank you for calling, that makes all the difference. Mm-hmm. Look, we have a lot of, as I mentioned before, Terry and Lisa and also Christy and Rachel working hard on our social media outreach. They can always use more ideas, more help, more memes, more perspective, anything, more is going to be good. So one of the things we have done, and I say we, but it was done before I showed up, was make a long list of all the Facebook groups in Portugal that we think would be worthy of reaching out to. And some of those we are doing now, of course, but there's maybe over 100 that we are not reaching out to. So there's plenty of work that can be done, without calling anybody on the phone, and just working to reach out to people on social media. And finally, joining in local events, I think is really important. When we met in the first part of May at Terry's apartment in Lisbon, one of the things that came out, it was a group of about 15 people, I think, that got together. One of the things that came out was we really wanted the events to support sort of community building. In other words, yeah, it's great to learn about all the political issues and all of that, and vote from abroad and all of that. But one of the purposes too is to, just to get together, put, names with faces and get to know one another. And so for the most part, these events are heavily oriented and will be heavily oriented towards community building and collegiality. And then covertly, John will probably slip in some go-to or get out the vote info in there somewhere as a covert operation. But the point I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of energy around getting together, and we need people to help us make that happen. It's as simple as that. So that's how you can get involved. And now I'd just like to close it out and maybe turn it over to you, Christy, for any of your thoughts and ideas that you'd like to bring, or any corrections that you'd like to make in errors or omissions that I did. But I'd love to get your perspective and on things now.
Great. I think, shall I stop the share here?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. How do I do that?
Oh,
I got it. Okay, maybe you need to do that. Just so we can all see each other. I don't have any corrections. whatsoever, because I think that was a fantastic summing up of where we are and what's been going on in the last few months. I think Andres, just do you want to talk about that now, about the beta?
Whenever
Or
you
you'll
think
wait?
makes sense.
Okay, first, I think I'd like to hear from anyone on the call or on the screen who would has a question or a comment or an idea or a thought. So anyone would like to chime in? This is your moment.
One question I had. So the one way that I used to do get out the vote, I mean, I've done the door knocking, phone banking, everything, and I had planned to do phone banking. Maybe I still will, but I didn't get the training and a lot of things came up. But one of the things, and I know you guys did some postcards, but the thing I've been frustrated with is nothing about this group, but the you can't my big thing to get out the vote was the postcards, where you write the postcards, and we did everything, school board, everything local, all across the country, every election, everything. And here we don't really have a mail system, so there's like no way for me to get the postcards there. And I always take, and when I go to the US, I'm doing my postcard thing, and mailing them from there. Um, so I really miss that because that's something, that we can do, from our pajamas in 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And it's very therapeutic. But I guess I don't know that there's no way to get them mailed, in
Well,
time from
Well,
Portugal.
let me just jump in there.
go
Yes,
ahead,
there
John.
is and can be done.
There is?
Yes, and has been done. We just did a
Yeah,
mailing. uh,
I saw you
right
did,
now.
but how?
635 postcards went out
But
to
they went
members in
to
Portugal.
people in Portugal. And so what we
Yeah.
were doing was writing to people in the US.
Oh,
Oh,
from
Yeah, but not, but that I can't mail from here. So we
well,
would, in,
we can get them in the U.S. embassy pouch, and they'll be dropped in the mail
really?
in the U.S. Yeah,
No,
I mean, you
actually,
have to have.
no, you can't. Not for this.
Oh,
It is possible to send a postcard internationally. It costs more. It can be done, but it costs more. So we'd have to, if we were going to send more postcards and spend them to the United States, there would be a pretty significant cost associated with it.
yeah.
yeah.
So
And I
What
think
if we just
coming,
what if we bundle them, and put them in a box and send them to our cousin and said, drop these in the mail for us? What about
we could
that?
do that.
Yeah,
that's something that's doable.
Yeah.
Again,
is doable.
there's a cost associated with sending the box, but it's probably smaller than sending the individual postcards.
oh yeah, yeah. So
I mean,
anyway,
I think
I guess Patty, I don't want to discourage you. I want to
Mhm.
I want to keep this on the front burner.
Yeah.
Yes, we can do postcards if that's your desire to do postcards. We can get them to you for sure. And you're talking about doing postcards for elections coming up in the States, aren't you?
Yeah,
what
that's what I was doing. Tons
So
of it, tons of it. But I could try to get trained on I did start the training on phone banking here, to get people to register here. So
let me
maybe
connect
I'll
with
have the chance to
yeah, let
do
me
that.
connect with you on that, and I'll point you
Yeah,
to
I
the
should.
resources, and
Roberta, isn't it?
you can
I think.
yeah, you can check it
Yeah,
out, and we'll get you tuned up on that.
that
But
would be my
we'd
second. Yeah.
also love to get you enlisted in the postcards to people in Portugal campaign, which,
Well, I think they did it. Didn't they do it
well,
already?
yes, but we can do it again.
Oh,
we have some
yeah.
I mean, we got
extras that
5
are,
months.
yeah, we have some that are printed that we have a few extras. But we would probably be hitting the same people because we did someone to every good address in our database,
Mm-hmm.
which is like
Mm-hmm.
600 and some odd people. So
Yeah, I think they did it up in Lisbon, and it kind of, yeah, yeah. I'm here in Cascais, so yeah. And
yeah,
yeah, sorry I missed the big event. I saw the pictures after the fact. I don't.
Well, there'll
Yeah.
be another one. There's another one on the 7th if you want to come to Lisbon for that. And then we're going to have a picnic on the 3rd of July, Sunday afternoon in Lisbon. So you're welcome to join us on that one too.
And there's
Sure.
also a picnic in the works on July 3rd for Cascais. We just don't have the firm date, the firm time for that, but someone is working on that, and it's in the planning stages
Yeah,
for sure.
that might work in Cascais, yeah. Because I'm just
Yeah.
3 miles from town. I can actually walk it even. So
Nice. I think anyone else want to chime in at all? Questions or comments?
one
Suppose
other
I-
question. Sorry, one other
Sure.
question. This always comes up this came up last year. Okay. When I finish my primary ballot that I'm working on now, it's due on June 6th, it has to be faxed. And we don't have I don't have a fax. And I think you helped me. There's like some kind of one time you can sign up to do a fax or something free.
Yep.
Do you-
Tristan, did I hear
Mhm.
you? Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so there are, I don't know all of them because I don't use it. I don't send faxes, but I'm sure I can find the list, and I'm happy to walk people through. Yeah, hellofax.com is one of them. And it is pretty easy, electronic faxing through software, through the internet. It does work, it works fine. You still have to make sure that you include all of that same documentation. I think if you fax your ballot, there's an additional form that you have to fill, because with the dates that you're talking about, you're voting from California, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think if they offer just a one-time free, because I'm not going to need to fax except once a year,
yeah, once or maybe twice once for the general as well,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, that's and I'm happy to Christy has already pasted the website, but if you want, you can I'm on WhatsApp, or you can send me SMS. I can get in touch with you. I'm happy to walk you through it and help. It's no problem.
Great. Okay, I will. I have a note here to see if maybe we can do a list of eFax services that we can just provide when people ask. I know Terry Recht was asking me today because she went to CTT to fax her ballot and was not
yeah, she
able
was
to
telling me that
dial.
it didn't. Well, yeah, because I think my guess is because dialing is funky. If it automatically adds the plus, then you just put 1. If it doesn't add the plus, then you have to dial 001. But if it adds the plus, then that's not going to work, right? Because the 00 actually replaces the plus. So
that makes
I actually
sense.
just sent her a message on WhatsApp to explain that to her, to see if it would help, but also to encourage her that she could use an eFax site if she if she wanted to, because at least from the receiving end, it doesn't make any difference. It looks all the same to them.
Yeah, it does. That's right. And she had texted me about that too. And Andres and I have not used a physical fax machine in a few decades, but we have.
I certainly
eFax,
haven't used one from here, but I have used eFax occasionally, but just very rarely, because I never need to fax anything. I vote from Oregon, so all of my stuff I can do all my business by email, which is nice. But California, it hasn't gotten to that point yet, so they'll email you your ballot, but they won't let you send it back by email. So. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, if we can get a list, I'm happy to forward it on to people when they ask, and then also I'm happy to sit on the phone with them and walk them through the steps of getting something faxed.
Fantastic, thank you.
So, and also another thing I can do too is I can check the CTT office near my house to see if they offer a fax service, and then I can check their machine and see how it operates, so that I can, make sure that I'm giving people correct information. Like if you go to CTT to fax, this is what you need to do for the number.
So
Just to
can
That would be
I,
great.
this is is this Tristan? Then
Mhm.
can I just send you my WhatsApp number and you can send me yours or something? And then if I have a question, I can contact you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll
Yeah.
put it in the chat, okay?
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I can use
That's
that
great.
number too to contact you, Patty, about phone
Mhm.
banking and postcarding and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Andres, do you want to talk now about the VFA beta?
Sure. Let me share the screen. Okay. So there is a new version of votefromabroad.org. I'm going to copy these URLs on the screen. And this, I think it's going to go public on June 14th or June 15th. But we could use everyone's help to just, try it. If you haven't gone to votefromabroad.org, then you can use the beta.votefromabroad.org URL. If you just want to play with it to get a feel for it, then use the second URL, the one that is sandbox.votefromabroad.org, because that won't generate a request for a ballot, so that you
And
don't
those are
end
in
up.
the chat, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And after sort of using it, etc., like I said, this will go live in a couple of weeks, but if you could use it now and give feedback, I also put
Mhm.
the Google form where there's a survey. So there is nothing that wasn't already on the old VFA, but I mean, just pick California, just as an example.
Mm.
It's super friendly, and now all the information is right there as part of the process of you soliciting your ballot. So, hey, what are the deadlines? Well, they're all here.
Mm.
If you have so many questions, they're right there. And it's super friendly. They have, different pages for each one. Let's sort of picking Kansas just to see.
Oh, wow. Yeah, all of that
Nice.
was there, all of that was there before, but it's really pretty and much more organized and easy to find things. I like it.
Yeah, so that was the part that is wow, little things do make a huge difference, because
Mhm.
this was there, but you had to go for, I think it was called State Guide in the top level to find some of this information.
Mhm.
And people they just sort of go in the state, and then they get
Mhm.
lost in the process. And then trying
Exactly.
to find information is hard. But obviously there's so many permutations of things
Mhm.
that if you have the time, just, play with, especially the sandbox version, because that won't sort of generate actual, it's more like a test site. It won't actually generate ballots.
Mhm.
And just, go through different states, try it on your phone, try it on a tablet.
Mhm.
It will be a huge help to the VFA team. I've been doing this myself, and I'm sort of very impressed with sort of the work that they've done, and can't wait for this to go live and be the one that we actually start, using for everyone.
Mhm.
And
Makes us look cool. Cool website that works.
Sorry, I accidentally hit stop recording, but I recorded again. Yeah, so I think that's great, and it's a big. They want to get at least 100 people to beta test this before it goes live, and I think they're at
Oh.
like 45.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
anyone
Yeah,
who'll do
I
it,
can
and
get
then
on
just
there.
yeah, and just that docs link, that Google Doc link, fill that out. It's super quick. I mean, it's like, what did you like? What did you not like? Did you have any trouble? It only takes
Cool.
2 minutes to fill it out. Yeah, it is cool. I thought you might like it, Tristan. Might be up your alley.
So,
So what else? Any
So,
other
Chris,
questions, thoughts? John, go for it.
yeah, Christy, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the events that we've got coming up? Because I mentioned a couple that are imminent in Lisbon next week on a Tuesday. Is that right?
Tuesday. Mhm.
Tuesday night,
Mhm.
the 7th at the Whisk Cafe at 6:30. Sort of a meetup, and I'm gonna bring up one page and with distributed, so covertly go to get out the vote. But there's that, and then we're gonna have a picnic in Lisbon on July 3rd at Parque Eduardo 7th. And so that's underway, being planned. I think pretty far down.
Oh, up near Marquês Pombal.
Yes, it's
Okay.
yeah, it's north of that, right? Mhm.
Mm.
And so those are a couple of things that are happening. Christy, I heard you mention that there may be a picnic in Cascais. I wonder if there's anything going on
Yeah.
anywhere else. I know Caitlin lives down in Stubal, and I wonder if there's going to be anything going on down that way.
Not that I've heard, but Caitlin?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know if there's, I don't know like what the population is of Democrats abroad in this area, so.
We could
Hey, maybe
pull
that's
a,
something you and I could work on. We could sort them out and reach out to them. What would you think about that?
Oh, well, and also like the in Nation Builder, they can kind of get a heat map of that area and see where people are, at least where we've got good addresses for people. So they can get a heat map and give you an idea of how many folks are there. And if you guys do decide to set up an event, you guys can also send a targeted email through Democrats Abroad. So, you know, it would come from the executive committee, but, you know, saying, hey, we want to have an event, a local event. You know, is this something that you guys would be interested in? And, you know, try to drum up some local folks to help you plan it.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
do
mean,
have, we have the capability to do that, and I can walk you all through it or do it. So just a matter of deciding if there's interest and maybe even reaching out. Cascais, it's definitely a picnic happening on July 3rd. I just don't know the time. And it's apparently it's a gentleman wants to host it at his home, and he's maybe a chef and wants to do a barbecue. That's what I heard, but we do have an organizer, Stephanie Bennett, and her contact just went out in the newsletter that I sent. If anyone wants to pitch in on that. We have a picnic on July 4th itself in Porto. Phyllis Roland is organizing that, and just a casual kind of potluck picnic on the actual 4th. One thing I think is probably worth mentioning, Andres, do you mind dropping the link to our main events page for Portugal into the chat?
Yep.
Just so people have that. This is the kind of central events page, and anything we plan shows up on this page. Getting back to GOTV specific, at the end of this month, June 25th and 26th, GA Global is sponsoring a call-a-thon, phone banking call-a-thon for it's been like 48 hours. And they want to get through all of the calls that are pending on our battleground states. And it just sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, they didn't have a website up as yesterday because they have a lot of organizing, but it's something to think about for those of us who are interested in phone banking. It's a global call-a-thon. You can, what they're doing kind of like, you know, when you run a 10K and you ask your friends to sponsor you, they are asking people to get, so if I commit to making 50 calls, say, I could ask my friends in the US, could you sponsor me at 5 cents a call or something like that to earn money to pay for phone banking. And so I don't know if we're interested in trying to get some of our phone bankers together to do this, or I was thinking I would commit to calling on that weekend for an hour or, you know, an hour and a half or 50 calls. They say 50 calls, 90 minutes. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's something for us to keep in mind, and we can put this into an email that goes to our volunteer team. I'd love to just pitch in a little bit and support them because they've put a lot of work into organizing that.
And the dates on that again, Christy?
June 25th and 26th. It's a Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, thanks.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to really share.
Well, when Tristan and I were talking the other day, she mentioned that she has done before and was thinking about doing some sort of voter registration table in a library. And Tristan, you want to talk about that idea and kind of float that out there?
Yeah, so one of the things that I definitely think that any of the 4th of July events should include a voter registration component. And so I am happy to set up a table at the Lisbon one for voter registration.
Do you have a table?
I don't have a table, but
Okay,
you know, I can figure out.
The reason I asked was that responsibility was given to me to get the card table. So
okay.
I'm not trying to hand it off to you. I just wanted, if you had one, I wasn't going to buy one, but I'll buy one.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I don't. I've always had fairly small apartments, so I haven't really had any place for it.
I'll fulfill my duty to get that card table.
Okay. You know, and like I said, I can bring, you know, I can bring literature. I can bring, like, I have my tablet that I can use to help people register to vote. I don't have a laptop that I can bring, but
are you going to be able to make it on next Tuesday night to the
Tuesday? Yes, I planned. I put it on my calendar so nobody at work can schedule any meetings to interfere with it.
Okay, that's great. So we can do a little covert action there too, you and I, around.
Yeah, maybe recruit some folks to bring some supplies that we need. Yeah.
What do we need? What do you think we need in addition to your tablet and yourself?
So there's me, my tablet. It would be nice if somebody had a laptop.
Okay,
I have the ability to turn my tablet into a hotspot. So if necessary, I can supply the Wi-Fi connection.
Well, I got a phone that can serve as a hotspot too. So do you need me to bring my laptop? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, that would be great. Yes, because I think we need at least one. We need one laptop. We need me and my tablet. So that gives us 2 computers that we can use to get people online and registering. A table is always good.
Well, they're going to have tables in the restaurant.
Oh yeah, no. I don't mean for us to bring voter registration to the Whisk Cafe. I meant for the July 3rd, 4th of July event.
I'm talking about next Tuesday. That's what I'm talking about. You're going to bring yourself and your tablet. I'm going to bring my laptop. Do I need to bring my laptop next Tuesday?
It probably wouldn't hurt. I mean, in case you need something that you want to show online, it's probably easier to see on the laptop than it is on my tablet. But
what else?
At least a little bit. Well, you said you're bringing you're going to bring like a 1-sheet thing about getting out the vote. And you know, and like I said, I'll bring my voter registration spiel, which is always in my head, so I don't need to bring anything for that.
Yeah, but I mean, any other physical collateral that you need to make this effective?
I think what we can do, I'm going to look and see how many I have left. But at these kind of things, I also usually like to give out the little business card things that have the vote from abroad address on them. I have some little things that are like business cards that I grab bunches of them every once in a while whenever they're available. And I will dig out my stash of those and bring them. See how many I have left.
I'll put all that info to all those URLs and stuff on my one pager. So people
Yeah.
have that.
Great.
So
we
we'll
leave-
do, we'll do
So,
double
but,
duty on.
but I like to, like for the business cards, I usually encourage people to take, if, depending on how many I have, usually I've got a stack of them. So I encourage people to take 2 or 3 or 5 with them so that they can hand them out, right, to
Did we-
people.
Did we leave
That
a
they might
batch
need.
of them with Terry, Christy?
Terry thinks she has a little stack. I think you guys have enough for Tuesday, but we definitely have a lot of them up here, and I can pop those in the mail for the
Okay,
next
I was
event.
thinking that we can,
We
yeah.
probably have a couple hundred
Okay.
that we can
Okay.
definitely send down to somebody in Lisbon
Yeah,
for the next thing.
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So
I
we
was-
have,
because I think especially for the for the Independence Day events, having those little cards, because like I said, a lot of times, especially in an area like that where we might even get random people walking by, right, who see American stuff going on and going, oh, hey, that's interesting. You know, I'm an American. What's up with that? And you know, then we can hand out some of those cards to
Yeah.
random passersby who might ask what's going on.
Sure. Perfect.
So I do want to mention along these lines of having some kind of a voter assistance and vote from abroad available at all of our events as much as we can. That there are trainings that are provided, and I'm gonna put that link in the chat. Those trainings, and I think Tristan, you've gone through those, but you know, it'd be good to have a couple of other people trained up in that too. Because
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that we're going to be trolling for, certainly at the Whisk Cafe event, we're going to try to get some volunteers who might express interest in that sort of thing.
That's great.
So that we can cover more events. And if you guys end up having any folks in other areas who are interested in that, but they're like, I don't know if I can really do it, I don't know enough, you know, I am happy to, like, people can attend the trainings, and then on top of that, I'm happy to, you know, maybe make a trip one time up somewhere and help with the first event, and, you know, help them get settled in and comfortable and confident in
Cool.
doing it. So
Awesome.
I'm happy to make a traveling show of myself a little bit.
That's awesome.
To help other people feel like they're up to speed. And that way we can get more country coverage as well.
Awesome. Thank you. I just, Terry, is there anything you want to say about how we can help you with what you do with the social media, or any other thoughts or ideas on anything that we've been talking about?
No, social
I'm putting
media,
you on this hot seat.
that's right. No, social media is going pretty well, but it's funny because this time when I posted the Memorial Day things, 2 sites or 2 pages that I usually post on declined it because they said it wasn't part of their, you know, one was expats Cascais, and they said, well, this is all supposed to be about Cascais. And I'm like, well, but you let me post it 4 times before. I didn't say that, but they did. And the other one was International Women in Portugal, which I was really surprised because usually they'll let me post anything, but it doesn't matter anyway. We got a lot of people that I've got a lot of likes on all the pages I posted it on, which is nice, and some comments. And you saw the one guy that went ahead and registered right away when he saw it, and I thought that was cool. Yeah, but no, I mean, it's hard for us to go to Lisbon at 7 o'clock in the afternoon because traffic is a nightmare coming from Edisada. So I don't know that we'll be able to go. I mean, I'd like to, but it's just a pain in the butt, you know, really. And then putting the car somewhere and stuff like that. But we could, I'm going to take the voter assistance training, and we can help like on the 3rd of July.
Oh, really? Okay, great. Super.
And
Terry.
then too, I mean, like, I don't know what the community is like where you are, like,
There's about 4 Americans that we know of.
Oh, okay. So it's a pretty small group. Because I was going to say, if you wanted to start doing things more locally where you are, having that voter assistance training and all of that stuff, and I'm happy to help you set up or whatever you need.
But yeah, so far, like I said, I know 4 people here that they've all registered. So I don't know what else. I don't know that many other Americans here.
So, and Andres,
Yeah.
do you have the Nation Builder database in front of you or no?
For
Uh,
me,
1 second.
No, Andres. Andres, I just
Yes.
want to.
What do you want?
Can you? I'm putting the name of where Terry lives. I just thought maybe you could quickly pull and just like see if there's 4 or 5.
yeah. Well,
I'm just curious.
and some of them aren't members of Democrats Abroad because they're independent, but they vote with us.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing
And
is,
that's-
so again, for voter registration, it's not about who they're voting for. It's not about what party they're affiliated. It's, are they registered to vote?
No, I just meant
So-
they wouldn't be on Democrats Abroad database.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, that's true. They wouldn't be on the
That's all I meant,
database.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, but I share it with everybody that I know here about vote from abroad and everything, so.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So, well, and that's, like I said, that's another thing. We can get you some of those little business cards so that, you know, if you do happen to see a random American that you don't know who turns out to be a person who lives here, right? You can say, hey, are you registered to vote
people.
from abroad? Here's some
Yeah, that's
information.
true. That's
8
true.
people.
8 people.
Yeah.
Well,
Officially.
then of course one is Mark and one is one is you.
So there's
Yeah.
6 other people, yeah.
So,
And
so,
that's just
so
the
there may
membership,
be, there may
so.
be 2 that you haven't met.
Maybe. We try to avoid meeting a lot of Americans. We came to Portugal to live with Portuguese, so we don't go out looking for Americans. I gotta admit that, but,
Yeah.
but we have met a few.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You
so
know-
I tend to live a very Portuguese sort of lifestyle as well. So I don't necessarily meet too many Americans in my regular life, but especially here in the summertime when all the tourists are out and like people have family visiting from the States and things like that, they seem to be out more. So if
Yeah.
I travel a lot on public transport. So I see them on trains and
You
buses
can
when I'm,
eavesdrop on them.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I'm perfectly happy to be that guy. Like, I don't know you, but I noticed that you're from the United States and you
Exactly.
said something about living in Portugal. So are you registered to vote? I'm just
Exactly.
curious. Do you need, you haven't? Oh, well, here's a website you can go to and you can, it's really important. Voting's important. So,
Yeah.
Take care of that. And, and if you need help, there's a chat on the website as well. They can help you.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I do. And some Americans find it annoying. Other people are like, oh, wow, I didn't think I could vote from here.
That's usually what I get when I talk to them.
Yeah,
I didn't know I could
Yeah.
vote from here.
I didn't know that I could vote from here. That's crazy.
You have to
Yeah, I
pay
know.
taxes there till you die. You might as well be able to vote.
Yeah, well, and then sometimes I also get what? I have to pay taxes. So I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, let me explain
It's a
to you
long
how this works.
conversation.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because so far I haven't owed any taxes. I mean, but even with that, like I still have to fill out the tax forms every year, which is a real pain in the butt. Especially since I rarely get anything out of it. Like I don't owe any money, but it's not like I get anything out of it either. So.
A pat on the back
Yeah.
from the IRS.
Andres, were you about
this
to say something?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking like we have the Cascais event, we have Lisbon, we have Porto. Not to put Linda on the spot, but we could show you something in Braga or Coimbra or just north
But who on the spot?
of our treasurer who lives in Coimbra. Just anybody who's on the northern
Linda,
part
Oh.
of Portugal to maybe, I don't know, it's okay, we're already in June, but it just seems such a great opportunity to do something for the 4th up there.
I have a couple people I could reach out to in Coimbra, including Linda. And
I'm thinking also
also down, and I know we have some folks down in Alentejo in the Alentejo area, and of course in the Algarve as well. So, I don't know what kind of, if we have volunteers in those areas who'd be willing, but it would be nice to see these kind of events sort of all over.
maybe that could be something when we send out that survey, John, that we can mention. I did that last year on last year's survey, and a couple of people did say they'd be willing to organize events in their area. And I can revisit those names also.
And
Okay.
and with the restrictions and stuff with COVID having changed, people may be more, like in the past, it's like, well, nobody wanted to do any
Right.
kind of events.
Mhm.
So we may get more of a response on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Andres and I are going to get together tomorrow morning and go over the database, and if we can get back to you, we'll loop back around to you around people in particular areas we think might be the ones to reach out to, and you can give us your guidance on that, Christy.
Mm.
Let's
Sounds
do it.
good.
Let's get more events. Let's get a nationwide campaign going here.
Mhm.
Sounds great. Okay, so we're just a little bit after 8 o'clock, and I don't know, John, was anything else you wanted to cover? Anything
Nope.
anyone else wanted to ask or bring up?
I'm good.
Are we good? I've kind of, I feel like an hour on Zoom is usually pretty much everyone's attention span.
I think we
Yeah,
did it. I think we did it. It's
And
all
we
good.
did do it. And sometimes you just have to go longer because you just have so much to cover. But
Yeah.
if it's within my power, I try to keep it close to an hour.
Okay.
All
Well, thanks
right.
everybody for jumping on the call. Really appreciate
Thank you,
it.
John. Thank you.
Yeah.
Christy. Thank you, Andres.
Yep. We'll see you
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you all.
Thank
Talk
you
to
all.